Hello and welcome to the Fat Jack Sports Hour. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, the Fat Jack. The weekend is here. It's championship weekend. So all sorts of football games going this week. Of course, the NFL, basketball, UFC goes this weekend. Soccer's back going this weekend. Prop bets for the NFL. Lots and lots of ways to make money betting on sports. And if you're wanting to do that, you've come to the right place. If you're not going to be betting on sports, welcome also. Hope you enjoy something about the show. We'll get you into your weekend and hopefully off on the right foot playing these games. Let me bring in my co-host from Louisville, Kentucky. We'll get this thing going. Brandon, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. They always say that this is cuffing season, but for us, it's hedging season. We're in positions where some teams are in conference championship games, to where if you had those futures tickets, or even you had conference championship tickets, that you can maybe hedge out of those a little bit if you want, because now the stage is set for one more week, and then we find out who's playing for the whole thing.
Glad you brought that up, and you're right. We're going to talk about that this week. Normally, you're talking about Clemson in particular. They're with us all year long. I give out on the air. Or actually, if you listen to the show or go to fatjacksports.com and get signed up this weekend, let me give the deal out real quick. Then we'll get into some of the nuts and bolts of what we're actually talking about. But $49 this weekend. I've run a $32 special. I don't know, in September, I guess, late September, early October. Very well received. That got you 3 college, 3 NFL, whatever. This one's $49. You're going to get, you go to the website, fatjacksports.com. It's $49. And this is only for a guy that's sitting on the fence, has been thinking about playing, but thinks it's out of his budget, which it is not. If you're betting $50 a game or more, you should definitely win investing in one of our longer packages versus losing on your own. It's not just the amount you're going to win, it's the difference between what you would win and what you're actually losing, most likely. So keep that in mind as we go forward. But if you're on the fence, you don't feel like $100 a week is in your budget because you only don't play enough or whatever, this is one of your weeks. You're going to get 1 or 2 of these a year, and this is one of them. $49 this weekend. You're going to get 4 football plays, most likely 2 college, so 2 of these championship games, 2 NFL games. You're going to get 4 basketball plays. You'll get the 4 best, so it'll depend. Probably college, but it might be an NBA game. This is over the weekend, so you'll get it between now and Monday night. And then you're going to get 9 prop bets. I've thrown the prop bet. It's $49, so $49 gets you all that. The reason I've thrown those prop bets in, Brandon, because those are things that there's a lot of states out there, as you know, that only allow props to be played. Individual bets. Now they have to parlay them, which I'm against parlays, but if you're going to be betting, you're better off parlaying my stuff that's going to win most weeks than you are parlaying your own stuff, which is probably not going to win. If you'd done that last week, heading into Monday night, we were 13-7. Just on Sunday, if you took Sunday, and let's say you start at the top of the list and you parlayed those, we won the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those that I listed off. So you could have had a 2-team, 3-team, 4-team, 5-team, 6. You would have won if you just started at the top and done some type of parlay on Sunday with the prop bets. So the selections did not win on Sunday. We'll talk about that, of course, in a minute because I don't want to just brush over that, but I want to get the special out there. $49 gets you 4 football, 4 basketball, 9 prop bets going this weekend in the sports. So go to fatjacksports.com, get signed up. The better deal, go ahead, get on board at least through the Super Bowl. If you do that, you're going to get not only, if you sign for football, it's less than $100 a week every week for those plays. $7.99, I think, right now. You can do the math. There's a lot of weeks between now and the middle of February, more than 7 for sure. You're going to get all that's for all the football. You can add basketball to that, but if you just do the football, you're going to get all the NFL, including the playoffs, including the Super Bowl, including the prop bets for the Super Bowl weekend, not prop bets weekly between now and then. That's a separate package, but you'll get all those. You're going to get basketball. That's one again. Basketball won last week. Turned a little bit of a profit there, about 4 games or so. We're building profit hoops each week. You're also going to get the bowl analysis sheet, which is going to get you a predicted final score on every single bowl game, which will be out like Tuesday of this next week once we get through conference championship weekend. So go get signed up for that. It's less than $100 a week. You're going to build profit, and then you're going to see what it's actually like to get winning selections and actually make money betting on sports. So go to fatjacksports.com, sign up today, win this weekend. All right, Brad, how was last week for you? What overall thoughts? What do you think about last week?
I mean, it was okay. It was just, I mean, throughout the whole week. I mean, obviously the weekend wasn't what we had hoped for, but all in all, I mean, we made money across everything with the UFC, with soccer, which went 5-1 over the weekend. And yeah, so it was decent. You know, hung out with some friends this weekend. Went and watched some footy on Sunday morning. So it was all in all a decent weekend. As we've rolled into December, we got the Christmas tree up. I mean, we're fully into everything that is for that is supposed to be happening this time of year.
Yeah, and that's something that we should. Last weekend was one of those weeks where, and we had when you're betting on sports, and nobody talks about this, but when you're betting on sports, you're going to have with me and with us, you're going to have a lot of winning weeks, and you're going
Hmm.
to build. You're actually going to make money betting. Which a lot of people never do that. You're going to have some losing weeks. There are going to be some bad weeks where we don't win. And then there's going to be some push weeks. That's the way it goes. Now, on average, over 27 years of doing this, we win about 4 out of every 5 weeks betting on sports. And that's basically football and basketball. This last week was we won with basketball. We lost with football. It wasn't a huge, it was our first losing Sunday. It's hard for me to be really
It
upset.
really is. Yeah.
We had gone 4-1 on Sunday, 4 of the previous 5 Sundays. We'd had a 3-2, then went 4-1, 4-1, 4-1, 4-1. That's over a month of just. And by the way, undefeated Mondays and Thursdays over the last 3 weeks. We're 13-3 on Monday nights.
Which is obscene.
I mean, yeah, I'm upset that things didn't go perfect on
Sure.
Sunday, but
Sure.
it's hard for me to be upset because it's sports gambling. There's variance. There's going to be things happen. And first of all, hey, I'm going to have some bad picks sometimes. I'm going to have picks that don't win because I'm wrong. All right, that everybody's going to have some of those. I had what I have one. I would definitely count it Tennessee in that.
Yeah, Tennessee plus the 5.5 or whatever it was probably was the one that you were quote unquote wrong. The
Yeah.
other ones, hey, Kirk Cousins. We didn't know Kirk Cousins was going to throw 4 interceptions. We didn't know
It,
Russell Wilson was going to channel 2012 Russell Wilson.
Now hold on a minute before we brush over the specifics of the interceptions and stuff because that's so important. I mean, Kirk Cousins. I'm not going to spend the whole show on Kirk Cousins.
Thank God, because
I just. But Kirk, that was the right play. That was the right side. All he has to do is show up, not mad at his wife or not whatever it was.
something happened over Thanksgiving that caused that performance.
No question, politics were talked about at his dinner table because
Maybe too much creamed corn. Who knows?
something went awry because Kirk Cousins not only threw 4 interceptions. First of all, they're getting a point and a half. They lose by 4. He throws a pick 6
Mm-hmm.
that is just the worst pass maybe in pro football. He throws 2 interceptions in the end zone, and they weren't from like midfield.
Right, they
They
were
were
red
like
zone
the 4
possessions.
and
Yeah.
the 7. And he throws 4 picks in all. And if he just and by the way, their kicker, whatever his name is,
Young Wei Koo, yeah.
Koo's got a hip injury, but he goes ahead and starts. He misses a layup field goal. Any of that happens, any of it. You don't have to pick one thing. If any of it goes fine, they at least cover. They probably win. And if none of that, if he doesn't throw 4 interceptions, but he just throws 1 interception that's not for a pick 6, they win going away.
Yep.
It's not even close. So okay, so Tennessee was bad. They did fumble the first play of the game. Shouldn't I guess I should know they're going to be fumbling first play of the game sometimes, but I'm not. I can't predict that. So that was a bad one with Tennessee. Atlanta, I take no responsibility for it all. It was a loss, but I can't predict that. Cincinnati scored 30-something points. They when you score over 30 points in the NFL, you're going to win. It's like 88% of the time if you get into where they were offensively with Cincinnati. Their defense, I mean, Russell Wilson looked incredible. Good for him. I go on this show pretty much weekly talking about not betting against uh, Pittsburgh's coach as an underdog.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mike Tomlin. And so I understand that I flipped over and was contrarian there, but that was still not a bad play. Baltimore also another one, probably the wrong side. They did not play well. They were at home. And then we won with Tennessee over. So Sunday we lose for the first time in literally since October. We had one losing Sunday in October, I think. But the NFL's been incredibly good, and that basically swung the week. We were winning before that. We had one Monday, one Thursday. So the bottom line is football lost a little bit. Handicappers don't talk about that. I can because I'm a gambler, and gamblers lose sometimes. Not often with me, but sometimes. Basketball wins. Brandon mentioned it. Soccer goes 5-1. Also had a 3-1 tie on Sunday, so that wins 5, 6, 7 games of profit, depending on how you played that. The prop bets. 13-7 going into Monday night. We win with the prop bets last week. So it depends on how many packages you're on. If you're on all the packages, you did really well last week. If you're on just football, you had one of your few losing week, one of those one losing weeks out of 4 or 5 that we'll have on the year, and that happens. So be be happy if you're a client that you're not doing that 3 out of every 4 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes football is going to lose its sports gambling variance. We talk about variance, and I do believe the same people that email or say mean things or whatever because Kirk Cousins throws 4 interceptions and they blame me for that. Those are the same people that probably don't know what the word variance means.
No.
That their vocabulary is probably not.
It's very limited, and multi-syllable words are often not in the conversation.
Because if you watch football on Sunday and you saw what happened in 2 or 3 of those games, and then your next instinct is
to blame you,
get on the computer and blame me, I don't know that I can help you. I mean,
yeah,
you're
got nothing for you.
But variance, for you that like to do that, is a term that means things out of my control that are going to can be high percentage of that's the worst description of variance maybe ever. Variance are things that are going to occur during the game, good or bad, that are out of our control. And so, generally speaking, that's what variance is going to be when I talk about it from a sports gambling perspective. So, turnovers, in-game injuries, those type of things, they are random things, and they are going to happen. But you're not able to predict those. Some of them are going to be good for us, some of them will be bad for us. And so, when those happen and they're bad for us, we're going to lose those games. When they happen, they're really good. If we had been on, say, the Chargers, we would have been on the right side or the wrong side of the game from a X's and O's standpoint for sure. But we would have won. And you'd have been happy about that if you were upset about that you had Atlanta lost. So those type things are going to even out over the course of the season. We're going to win a lot more games than we lose. We're going to have some push weeks and a few losing weeks. Don't worry about it. Get on long term. Get a longer package, pay less for those plays, and you're going to be happy. Go to fatjacksports.com. $49 this week. We'll get you all the way through this weekend with 4 football, 4 basketball, and 9 props, or less than $100 a week when you go with those longer packages through the Super Bowl, March Madness, or the NBA Finals. Bowl analysis sheet is coming out this week. Brandon, last week's games overall, we had rivalry games. I want to get your thoughts on the flag planting going on around the country and fighting after that. Where do you land on that? Because when I first watched it, I thought one thing, and then after I thought about it, I thought something else. What do you think about the flag planting?
To the victor go the spoils. If you're upset about a team coming in and planting a flag on a piece of turf that you don't own, like, hey, that's a problem with you. You had 60 minutes plus to figure out who's gonna be able to celebrate at the end of the game. If you're butthurt about that, you probably don't understand variance. You know there are things that happen in life that, I mean, yeah, you win, you lose. You better be able to do both with grace. Simple as that.
So when I first saw what happened, and it starts with the Michigan-Ohio State game, and then just basically caught fire. Everybody that's beating
I think everyone
anybody.
kind of, the seed got planted. So everyone was like, ooh, if we win today, we're going to plant a flag. And then the other teams were like, hey, if we lose today and they plant a flag, we're fighting. Yeah, that seed was planted early.
Pitchfork, I'm going to beat the crap out of the other mascot. I mean, yeah, that's a million things going on. It's rivalry week. I only leave college once type thing. When I first thought, I thought that same thing. If I was playing, I would have gone. I should have gone to the locker room, sit there, and just scoffed and laughed it off. If I played for Ohio State and Michigan did that, I think I probably personally would have gone over, tried to take the flag away from the Michigan player and stab him in the heart with it. And so although I understand that the path of maturity should take me nowhere near the guy that is planting a flag in the middle of the field that just beat me on my own field with my home face, and my parents up there in the stands and all that kind of stuff. I got a guy running around. I understand that should not happen. I get it, though. It's one of those, Brandon, if you're walking down the street and you walk up on 2 guys and they're fighting, and one guy swings and he accidentally hits your girlfriend or your wife in the face. It's a total accident. What do you do about that?
I mean,
it's an accident. It's an accident.
It's an accident. It is an accident. You also didn't remove yourself from the situation.
I punch him in the face as much as I possibly can until
the
cops come and take me to jail.
Sure.
the point, I guess, is that I understand what the mature thing should be to do. I understand being caught up in the emotion and being upset about it. The reality is you should be able to win with grace also. We look at the people who are responding to the guy planting the flag. If you win, act like you've been there. We hear that from coaches. I'm an old guy, so
Mm-hmm.
Lou Hole, I forget who said it, some old coach. Act like you've been there before. I know Barry Switzer used to say that. Love
Barry
him.
Switzer also used to say hang half 100 on him.
No, that's true, and I'm okay with that too. I'm okay with running up the score. I get,
Right.
but I think both sides. It's one of those things. There are real no winners. I would also might be the plant flagger. I would not be a flag planter. I wouldn't. If I won, and I understand, I have friends that would. Lots of them would, and they would grab all the flags they could, plant them. But I get both sides of it. I think it's a bad precedent. They're going to have to, from a conference standpoint, take care of that, though. Otherwise, there are going to be melees after every. It's going to become
Mm-hmm.
European soccer. Honestly, it's going to become where.
Right. Yeah. And then the police get involved and pepper spray is deployed. That's not a good sign for anything,
Yeah.
whether it's politics or football games.
Yeah, so they're going to have to teach winning and losing with some grace. Otherwise, for no other reason, it's going to get out of hand. People are going to get hurt, and it's going to be bad for the sport overall. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully the NCAA has somebody with a pair down there that will stand up and say, maybe a commissioner of one of these conferences that sees that this is a bad road to go down, that no flag, after the game's over, let's act like men, shake hands, everybody go their separate ways and move on. That's the only way to keep violence out of it, I think.
We will know if it's truly spread this weekend when the NCAA volleyball tournaments begin. That if somebody plays a rival or wins, and then there's a celebration, and then there's a fight afterwards, then we know we might have a societal problem. Right now, it's just a football problem.
I'll tell you this: if you tuned into this show and you had volleyball championship as an indicator for anything, you bingo, you win.
Yeah,
Go get yourself a cool one. So
enjoy the next 40 minutes of the show because you have won.
Exactly. FatJackSports.com. Get signed up. $49 going this weekend. Let's talk about these championship games, Brandon. So we're to the end of the season, and I'll tell you, we're in the past. I'm excited about it from a gambling standpoint because I do love some of the matchups. We're going to have a lot of picks. It looks like this weekend, but from a um, fan standpoint, I'm really, it's kind of the appetizer. Normally you're excited about this because you get this and you get a bunch of meaningless bowl games that are also good to make money on. Really
Mm-hmm.
good, actually. But then you're waiting for the 4 games at the end. But I'm fired up to figure out who is going to play in the championship so we can get the bowl matchups. Which of these games, excites you this weekend just from a spectator standpoint?
Texas, Georgia, obviously, I think is going to garner most of the attention just because it is 2 top 10 teams. It's a rematch of a game earlier this year. I'm a bit of a sicko and a degenerate, so the Boise UNLV game is very intriguing, as is Clemson SMU, also Arizona State, Iowa State. I am here for all 3 of those because they obviously have playoff implications, but 2, I mean, this is the epitome of win or go home for a handful of these schools, because if you lose the Big 12 championship game, have fun in San Diego because you're not going to the playoff. If you're Clemson and you lose on Saturday night, you're going to Charlotte for a bowl game, instead of going to potentially playing in the Rose Bowl or something like that.
A lot at stake for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and that's more than normal. And so I do love that. Georgia Tech, we'll break down a couple of them just from a number standpoint. Georgia 22-3 straight up their last 25 games. I think we forget that. They also beat Texas on their home field. Texas is a favorite in the game, 2.5 point favorite, right? 2.5, 3 point favorite in the game.
Yep.
2.5 actually. Total 49 in the game, and this is not on their home field. So I think the consensus is, and this is a lot of public consensus, not really line-setting consensus, is that let's go ahead and throw out what happened in Austin in October.
Yeah, that was 2 months ago.
2 months ago.
Very different teams than when they met 2 months ago.
Very different teams. Very different results since then. Quarterback at Georgia not being consistent. They're not running the ball consistent, and the bigger danger now, they're not stopping the run consistently. Texas running the ball at will right now, which is setting everything up, keeping the issues out of Quinn Ewers' hands, what got him into trouble against Georgia is that they got predictable downs where he had to throw it. When he had to throw it, he made some bad decisions. Next thing you know, Manning's in. We got a whole thing there. The flip side of that would be, okay, well, who's Texas played since then? Who they beaten? What's their best win? I mean, are we looking at a team that, like when we saw them last, lose that they were playing by far the best team they played this year, and that since then they've not. So
Squeak by Vanderbilt. They struggled against Arkansas. Didn't play all that great against a Kentucky team that's not going to a bowl game, and then against A&M, at least offensively, not special and in a tough place to play. So yeah, you're right.
So yeah, they played some bet. It's not they've been playing a high school team since. They played some
No.
good teams, but what is the Florida win? Is that the Florida win of a few games at the end of the year? Or is that the Florida game we saw early? Is the Florida team we saw earlier? It's kind of when Florida was transitioning. Florida since then has played really well, especially at quarterback. They brought the freshman; he's looked good. But the other wins, I mean, A&M. After the fact, now I liked A&M at home. I thought they would cover the number. Thought there was some value there, and that was one of our losses on Saturday. But this is not a team that can score a lot. It's also a team that doesn't have a lot of answers offensively if what they like to do doesn't work. What we've seen out of A&M this year is when they score points, with their game plan works, they've been great or good. When it hasn't, they've had no answers. That's what we saw on Saturday, including some horrible play calling either on the goal line or in fourth down situations. They had 7 points because their coaches literally made some horrible calls at some really important times. Otherwise, like I said, I don't know if they win. Texas might have been able to score 50 if they had to,
Right.
but they didn't. So I guess that's my point: is that who have they played? Who have they beaten? Has Texas gotten a lot better? And to answer the question, their best win this year, the entire year, is who, Brandon? Who's their best? Who's Texas? Those of you out there who don't know their schedule, here's who they've beaten. Tell me what their best win is. Texas A&M. So Florida, I guess, will be thrown into that with the timing of the win. Oklahoma, obviously not. Michigan. That's it. That's who. That's who Texas has beaten. Everybody, and people out there, they're Longhorn fans saying, "Well, who do you want them to beat, Jack?" They've beaten everybody on their schedule except Georgia at home. That's true. All I'm trying to do is figure out how good Texas actually is based on their opponents this season. And so a lot of teams, and by the way, I'm not picking on Texas. There's a lot of teams like this. Penn State, we'll get to them. Who is their best win? There's a lot of teams in the country. Heading into last week, Brandon, there were let me get this right. Of the 8 teams, where are my notes? Here we are. Of the 8 of the top 12 teams heading into last week, this has changed a little bit because some of these are in the top 25. But 8 of the top 12 teams have either no wins or 1 win over currently ranked teams.
Mm.
And that's of the top 12 heading into last week's game. So it's not just a Texas thing. It's not just a Penn State thing. A lot of these teams, some of these teams that are getting ready to play in the playoffs and are going to play this weekend, these conference championship games, they have not played anybody. And Texas is a good example of that. This is they've got some wins against some good names, but who have they actually beaten? There were 5 teams heading into last week of the regular season that had not had one win versus a ranked team, and 3 of them of the 12 had 1 win versus a ranked team. So we literally are the whole eye test.
Mm-hmm.
That is what these guys are going off that are in the committee, and so we can take advantage of that. Some of these teams will win by 50 if they can. Some of it is move on, but Texas is one of those teams for me. Who have they beaten? When you flip over and you look at Georgia, Georgia's have some more. They're more battle tested, right? I mean, they played some harder teams. So
Sure. I mean, they have the win against Texas. They have a win over Tennessee, who's a good ranked team. But you look at 2 ranked and Clemson too in the season opener, who they thumped. But the losses to ranked teams as well in Ole Miss and Alabama, who, yeah, how do those losses look now, considering how they finished their seasons?
yeah, and I don't look too much about how they finished necessarily from winning. I care about it, but I still I think Alabama's better than any of the wins. Like if Texas had played Alabama, I don't know that they don't have 2 losses. I guess is the way to put that. I was at Alabama. It was early in the year. Georgia turned the ball over 27 times. So I mean that's why they lost. Georgia beat Florida. So that same type of win. They beat Mississippi State. So they beat Kentucky. So a lot of those same teams that I just don't know that I would make Texas a favorite based on what I've seen lately. I would have made it a pick. So, and I think that, I guess is my point, is public sentiment. I think people look at what they saw recently and they played that. Texas 5-0 their last 5 games. Obviously, total has gone under. This defense has performed well for Texas. I do think that's a lot because of who they play. 7 of the last 8 Texas games have gone under. Georgia, to the contrary, we talked about their defense not holding up. They've gone over 4 of their last 5 games. So finishing the season not playing great defense, but getting a little more other offense because Georgia hasn't lost a ton. They just have lost to really good teams or good teams. I think if you put the schedules up against each other, Georgia has a much better schedule. Their wins and losses are much more. I feel better if I'm a fan of either team. And I had to just take the jerseys off. They do that during March Madness. They'll put up the Team A versus Team B.
Yeah, just look at the resume, strength of schedule, stuff like that.
If I'm a fan, I'm more comfortable with who Georgia's lost to. We don't give a lot of credit to this Georgia Tech win, but because it was over 4 or 5 overtimes, whatever it was.
8 overtimes, yeah.
Could have gone either way, all those type of things. Georgia Tech has made a living versus not only covering against ranked teams, but beating ranked teams straight up.
Had they beaten Georgia, that would have been their 3rd win against a top 10 team.
Yeah, this is a team that has shown up and not only covered, but beat ranked teams on a regular basis, including, as Brandon said, 3 times this year. FatJackSports.com. Go get signed up today. We missed a couple on Saturday, by the way. USC Notre Dame. I almost released Notre Dame. There have been no upsets in that series, and I'm going to play this next year probably because this is just one thing. They don't get this line right ever. There have been no upsets in that series since 2011, and favorites are 9-2 against the spread over the last decade. I mean, they just favorites in that series, no matter who it is, they win and they cover. It's a little bit like Army-Navy under. I mean, you just play Army-Navy under just because.
Auto bet. Yep.
It's going to go under so many more times than not. So you don't want to get, we talk about this during the year, playing in bad spots or trying to guess about things and be right that one time. That is not healthy for your bankroll. Much more consistent way to make money is to, over the long run, play what happens most of the time, and that's one of those situations. So FatJackSports.com. Go get signed up today. $49. Get you 4 football, 4 basketball, and 9 prop bets in the NFL. This weekend only. Go get signed up today. You'll get all those plays, and you'll make money. So those 4 football will not come out until Saturday. Probably 1 or 2 at least will be in these conference championship games. The rest will be in the NFL. Basketball will be spread out. So you want to get this on Saturday. If you're calling on Sunday, I will probably go ahead and supplement those for you. You sign up, but it won't be the absolute best place probably because you will have missed Saturday. So go to FatJackSports.com. If you're Monday, Tuesday, sign up for that. $49. Better deal. $99 or so a week, or less than that, if you sign up through the Super Bowl, through March Madness, or through the NBA Finals. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take a break. Come back. We're going to talk about our hedge situation in college football. We have one of those tickets right now. We, of course, have Buffalo to win the Super Bowl. They're still looking good after that snow game win. So a couple of those seasonal win total bets that we gave you actually right here on the show, and then all the clients got. We'll talk about kind of how to handle that with Clemson coming up this weekend playing in their conference championship game. Very lucky to even be in it, honestly. But we don't care because we have a 36-1 ticket, at least one of those, to win the national championship. We're going to figure out how to handle that before these championship games go this weekend. Don't go anywhere. You're listening. Fat Jack Sports Hour. Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and it is championship week. Are you ready to make some money betting on the games? For only $49 this weekend, you can get yourself into profit betting on sports. $49 gets you 4 football, 4 basketball, and 9 NFL prop games going this weekend for only $49. Go to FatJackSports.com and consistently build profits starting this weekend for only $49. Get a longer package. It's less than $100 a week. FatJackSports.com to win this weekend.
If you want to stay in touch with everything related to the Fat Jack, follow us on all the socials: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you name it, we are there at Fat Jack Sports. You can also watch the Fat Jack Sports Hour on YouTube every week. Get free winners and tips on how to become a better sports bettor. Plus, see Jack's appearances on the nationally syndicated TV show Beat the Odds. Stay connected with the Fat Jack Sports Service at Fat Jack Sports on all the socials and on YouTube.
Hey guys, this is the Fat Jack. Are you finally ready to get a better plan betting the games this year? Let me help. Go to FatJackSports.com, where we understand that it's not the gambling she hates, it's the losing. FatJackSports.com.
Welcome back to the Fat Jack Sports Hour, and now here is our host, a man who doesn't need tracking numbers. He's the Fat Jack.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Fat Jack Sports Hour, segment number 2, heading into championship week. Hope you guys are enjoying your post-Thanksgiving shopping bonanza as we head into the holiday season. Go to FatJackSports.com. One of the best gifts you can get the gambler in your life this weekend for sure is an early Christmas gift. Get them the $49 special. It's a good way of saying I love you. I just don't love the fact that you play parlays all the time and lose all of our extra money. I mean, that's basically what it is saying. It's like, here, let's try this. This guy seems to know what he's doing. He's been doing it for 27 years. He admitted when he didn't win. I mean, my gosh, who does that? You don't even do that, honey. You know, I mean, I get a little bit. So let's go ahead and sign up for him or just get it for him. You can get everything through the Super Bowl. It's about $800. I spent more than that twice this week on these stupid. Brandon, the shopping has in day. I'm not a shopper. And this is a true story. Before we get in, go to FatJackSports.com, by the way, get the $49 special. Before we get back into the college games, I'll tell you, I'm not only not a shopper, I don't know how, if you said, Jack, go right now and buy something on Amazon. A lot of people won't believe this. This is a true story. If you said, go buy something on Amazon, Brandon, I would not know how to do that. I would have to figure that out. I don't have is it an app or do I have to go on the website? I don't have an account. I don't have a password. Nothing's hooked up. I have never, ever in my life purchased anything from Amazon. You can look at that two ways. This guy's an idiot. Or you could say, hey, he loves small businesses. He's trying to keep everybody in business in America. What a good dude.
I shop in person like a reasonable
like a normal
adult.
person, exactly. Yeah. The reality is I'm somewhere in between. I simply don't shop a lot. My wife does all the shopping. So anything.
Yeah, you're always like, hey, Karen, we need one of these, and then
that's right.
Bam, it's there, and it's there
anything
the next day.
Other than for her, she's gonna get because she does have all those. Believe me, they love her. They love Amazon. All of them love her. But I will tell you, and here's kind of my point. They've made it even easier than Amazon. Maybe Amazon's is easy. If I wanted something on Amazon, it'd be super easy. But what I do know is that these stupid TV stations now have these barcodes. All you gotta do is walk up the TV. It's like deal of the day or whatever.
Oh, the QR codes, yeah.
QR codes. So you walk up, you point your phone at the QR code, you click it. All my information's already in there. I guess it's Karen's probably, so whatever. But there was something on TV. $1,500 later, because I brought 4 of them.
Oh no.
They're not here yet, so we'll see if they're any good. I mean, my people are getting them for Christmas because I thought, you know what, that sounds like a good thing. I normally put zero effort into the shopping season, other than going to Mitchell's Jewelry and getting something.
Right.
Time. I will. But I thought, you know what, let's get off the couch, go over there, So I did that. $1,500 later, and then I got on the TikTok shop.
Oh yeah, though that and the Instagram shopping is a trap that many have fallen into.
That is a fickle mistress, because that also Karen's information, but I'm on TikTok. Ellie has this candy store. My daughter-in-law and her son have this candy store, little sweet treat. You can go on TikTok and watch her and see the candy stuff. So I follow her stuff on TikTok. Well, now. I bought 3 things off the TikTok shop. It was like 15 minutes. I've got all sorts of stuff coming to the house. I'm out $2K or whatever on stuff that may or may not be valuable. So I'm not a shopper. Are you a shopper, Brandon? What do you do?
I very much shop for myself. I'm horrible at shopping for other people because I assume that I'm the type that if I want something, I'll go get it. So I know I'm impossible to shop for. And by default, I assume that everyone is like me. And if they want something, they go get it. So I don't know ever what to get them. So I try not to shop very much for other people because I don't want to like step on people's feet. It's a weird thing. I will spend money on myself though. I'm very selfish in that aspect.
I think that's okay. I mean, you've earned it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the same way. If I need it, I go get it. And so
Sure.
Everybody else, and I'll tell you, I try to file some things away for what people want. I just don't do a very good job of it. So it's not for lack of effort. It's just for lack of follow through. which doesn't make it any better. But I come up with a couple things. The other thing is when you have adult children that make money, which my kids do, both of them do, throwing money at them, although they still, everybody enjoys that. They don't, I told them I'd like to do a little bit better this holiday season than just me writing a bunch of checks. Like I'm Al Capone or somebody, I'm some type of Italian family and a mobster that people get married.
Come to you on the day of your daughter's wedding. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to give away a bunch of money to people who already have money. I'd like to do better of getting them something they want. I suggested like 3 things for my son and daughter-in-law. They hated all of them. One was an organizer. Their house is a mess. They live in a 3-story carriage house in the West Village in New York. I think they pay like, I don't know, $10,000 a month rent. It's almost $10K. I wouldn't give you $500 a month of that place. It's not big. It's in a good spot in New York City, but the place it's a wreck. And so I thought, well, we could an organizer. No, they don't want people in touching their stuff. How about a maid? I'll get you a maid. So we already have a maid. I said, doesn't look like it. I've been there. Doesn't look like a housekeeper's been in that place ever. So now it becomes a thing. Now we're flaring up.
Now we're mad at getting a gift, right?
Right. I'm trying to just give gift ideas, and now Ellie's insulted that I'm insulting their cleaning ability at the house. The whole thing's ridiculous. So we're back to money, I guess. I'm just gonna. So we're trying to figure it out. FatJackSports.com. If you're a gambler, get your significant other, someone, one of these packages. $49 for the weekend. 4 football, 4 basketball, 9 prop bets this weekend, or less than $100 a week for the longer packages. It includes that bowl analysis sheet, great for office pools, guys that like to play more than just the top plays. You get a predicted final score on every single bowl game, which starts up here in about a week or so. So not long to decide on that if you want all the bowl games. If you sign up for a package short of the bowl championship, the national championship, you don't get the bowl analysis sheet because all those games will be included in that sheet. Everything, you'll get everything up through whatever, and then we'll fill those in as we go into the finals. So I'm trying to figure that out because things have changed. Things are later now. I used to have a package through the national championship game, but that was like on the 8th or the 9th. Now it's on the 20th.
20th, yeah. That's 2 extra weeks of stuff, yes.
I'm not doing that because that's our NFL in January, so valuable. I mean, literally, it makes so much money. The playoffs are so good to me and so good to us. I'm not giving those for free, which is what I would normally do when you sign up through the 9th. You get whatever NFL, it's pretty much included. Not this year. Just go sign up for a longer package. You're going to save a bunch of money and you're going to win. All right, let's talk about college football like on a wrap set deal. We can look at this during the break, but we have season win totals that are sent out for free to all the clients that I tell them to bet. I bet them on one of my apps, so I don't even really pay attention during the year. I just see the balance go up at the end. I do know how many games did Louisville win?
With the win against Kentucky over the weekend, I think that put them to 8, but I'll double check.
All right. Well, it's over 8.5 wins plus 120. So is that a loser? I don't get bowl games in that, right?
No, that is regular season.
So that'd be a loser if they only won 8.
They're 8-4. Yep.
All right. So that bad beat. I knew that was a little bit of a stretch, and they gave away a couple this week. But
absolutely. That Stanford loss potentially kept them out of the playoff, and at least out of the ACC championship game potentially,
and kept me out of $1,000 win.
Yep.
USC under 7.5.
Yep, 6-6.
Also an underdog, plus 120. That won. Penn State under 9.5.
That's a loss. They're 10 and 11.
Another long shot. Yeah, that was plus 150. So I like these longer shots to try to make a lot more. They're free, and so I haven't bet less on them. Arkansas over 4.5. Easy.
Going to a bowl game.
Tennessee under 8.5 wins. They get to 9.
I think they have 9. Yeah.
Well, that's another. See the long shot. So the long shots I lost. The other ones, BYU over, they were a long shot and they won. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, and 3.
But 2 of those,
are long shots.
All 3 of those are plus money. Yeah.
Yeah, they're plus money. So we made a little bit. And that's what Tennessee had 9. Is that right? Did we look that up?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, 3 and 3 on those. Not great, but we made money and it's free. You didn't pay anything because all those were long shots. So a little bit of money on those. Here's why we're getting into this. We have Clemson to win the national championship. Actually, 60-1 is where I released it. I got it at 36-1, which had been already bet down. So somewhere between 60-1 and 36-1, because I have 1,000 to win 36,000. I don't have to be great in math to figure that out. So that's to win the national championship. So let's quickly go over how we handle that. So if you're out there and you have that ticket at anywhere better than 36 to 1, which you will, because a lot of people got that before I bet it. I bet it late because I was out of it. It's a long story. I was out of the country. I had a wedding, all that kind of stuff. Then I'd come back, and it would have already been bet down, but because I had sent it to my clients. But anyway, if you get it 30, 40, 50 to 1, here's what you're going to do. You're going to bet time and a half, whatever you bet, on this championship game on SMU on the money line. So if you bet $100, you're going to bet $150 or $200. It's up to you. $150, $200 on SMU on the money line. Does that make sense?
It does to me. But for anyone who doesn't understand why we're doing this, because if Clemson loses this game, they are not getting into the playoffs. So your national championship pick for them to win at 60, 36, whatever you got the number at, to win the national championship is dead. So in order to try and recoup the money that you bet on that ticket, we're going to bet on SMU to win the game and guarantee that we're either going to turn a profit off the SMU win, or if Clemson gets into the playoff, that 60 to 1 ticket is still alive.
And we're going to bet again. And so
Yep.
because we don't think, and we never really thought that Clemson was going to win the national championship.
Not with Cade Klubnik at quarterback. Goodness, no. But
so that was never the thing. Now you're saying, well, Jack, why didn't we just bet Clemson to win the ACC? Good question. They were 6 to 1 to win the national or to win the SEC, I think at the time, 5 or 6 to 1. And if they make it into first of all, if they win this game, they win the championship. So that 6 to 1 ticket would win. But we're going to have a chance. We're going to have 30, 40, 50 to 1 going forward on these next few games to make more than 6 to 1 on our money if they win this game. And you would be doing the exact same thing in this spot if you had bet them to win the ACC championship.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they don't win this game, they don't win the ACC championship. So this allows you to hedge out of that particular bet, whichever it is. You're just hedging out of a 35 to 60 to 1 bet versus hedging out of a 6 to 1 bet. So it's the same thing. All right. So that's what you're going to do. And that is, and by the way, you're like, well, Jack, I bet some other things. Well, if you bet other things, those need to be handled individually. These are not all. And if you want to bet more, you can bet more. So you could bet 5 or 10 times. I wouldn't hate you for that. If you bet 5 or 10 times, if you bet $1,000, let's say you have 100 to win 6 or 50,000 or 5,000. Let's say 100 to win 5,000 and 50 to 1 on Clemson to win the national championship. If you want to bet $1,000 here, I'd say okay, do that. That's fine, because if SMU wins, you're going to win that 1,000 or win $750 because that will be on the money line. They're a favorite. If Clemson goes into the playoff, we still have 30, 40 times our money to hedge that back, get back the 1,000 we just bet plus our initial bet, and make more money. So you're going to make money on this bet simply for making a good decision in August. That's what these bets are. Or
September or October or November, whenever you bought that ticket. I am greedy and decided to sprinkle a couple here and there throughout the season. I have a futures ticket on SMU too. So either way, I have the winner of this game in the playoff. So, and I think SMU gets in even if they lose this game because of how good of a schedule they've had. And so, yeah, I think I'm probably going to hedge against the Clemson bet, even though, I mean,
if I had both, I don't know that I'd do that. You have SMU to win the national championship or SMU to win the ACC?
To win the national championship.
Yeah, what is it at?
A stupid high number.
Yeah,
let me track it down. 70 to 1.
Okay, yeah.
And I got Clemson at 66.
I don't think I hedge either way. If I had that, and by the way, now we're in the weeds. We got to get back to breaking down some NFL and so much more. This is for the podcast or something. We're in the weeds. If I had a ticket on both and they were similar amounts, 100 or whatever it was, I wouldn't hedge either way. I'd stay put. Losing one ticket, you don't need to win 100 or risk 500 or whatever. If you have a guaranteed live ticket when you get to the next round at 60 to 1. So it's basically like hedging back even money. I just wouldn't do it. I would just stay put.
Fair.
Get yourself into the. Now hold on. The caveat there is, no, it's not a caveat. If SMU wins, they're in. If they lose, they might be in anyway. Now you're cooking with Crisco.
Right. Then I have 2 tickets live.
You got a 60 and a 70. We may talk through that because that may get exciting. That might be fun.
So to further dive down on the degeneracy, I also have futures tickets on UNLV and Boise.
Yeah,
to win the national championship.
Brandon's a
no hedge
machine.
there.
He's a futures machine. So.
And Iowa State, Arizona State. So either way, I'm going to have a minimum of 3 teams with futures tickets at 60-1 or higher going into the playoff.
So Brandon's 18,000 in on the futures tickets, $100 at a time. But my God, he's going to have some live dogs once we get to the tournament.
I'm going to be a hedge machine come late December and early January.
There we go. Sure. Tell Jamie to hold on. We're going to get you. We're going to get out. We're going to get right. It's just going to take a little time. Go to FatJackSports.com if you want these to be your problems. The reason Brandon can do this is because on a weekly basis, he's winning lots of money on football, basketball, soccer, and props, and UFC. And so he can just take this extra money that he's making, go sprinkle it around on some of these futures tickets. And when they get into the playoff, a very exciting December is coming. All right. This is a lot different than the guy that signed up for one weekend, didn't win, then went lost on his own, and is now not betting on anything because he's made horrible decisions. He's lost a bunch of money and he can't gamble. So if you want to win long-term, get signed up at FatJackSports.com, get consistent winning plays, and start winning. All right, let's quickly touch on another one of these conference championship games, give away a free winner. So Penn State, Oregon is the other one that I look at. Penn State's that other kind of team that I think, who have they played? Who have they beaten?
And are lucky to be there.
And on top of that, they are coached by a guy, James Franklin, who consistently does not beat top-ranked teams. I mean, this is a very simple formula. Now, the line in this game bothers me a little bit.
As it does me. I thought this would be much closer to a touchdown.
Yeah, and so 3.5, that is, if you're playing the better team, which we know this time of year will get you in trouble, just betting the better team and having to lay points, you're probably playing Oregon. That's probably the first one off the board for you. So we look back through Penn State's wins, and their best win this year, Brandon, is I see this line is bothering me a lot because they don't have a good win.
I mean, Illinois is their only ranked win. They lost by a touchdown to Ohio State
at home, whiteout. All those things. I mean, that was the only game they played against a good team, and we saw what Ohio State can be. Just lost to Michigan, don't look as good. But their schedule.
They were very lucky to beat USC too.
And they didn't play anybody, so we just don't know. What we do know is they weren't able to beat Ohio State in a whiteout game at their home field, but they did beat the likes of Maryland, Minnesota, who's not none of these are horrible, but this is a much weaker schedule than what Texas played. Yep. Maryland, Minnesota, Purdue, Washington, Wisconsin, USC, UCLA, Illinois, Kent State, Bowling Green, West Virginia. That's their schedule. Now, that's all they're going to play who's in front of them, but the one time they got a chance, similar to Texas, but they're the poor man's Texas. Similar to Texas, the one time they got an opportunity to beat somebody on their home field, they lost. So like I say, there's no great team this year. Every one of these have a little bit of weakness, but I would have trouble walking up to the window and playing Penn State. So first free winner of the day, Oregon, minus the points against Penn State. I understand it's a public play. Probably won't be a release play because I don't play with the public, although I'm going to drill down a little more and figure out exactly where this Penn State team might be and why that line is what it is. That's the other thing about signing up. You sign up, you're not just getting me. You're getting, I know some of the line setters. I know guys that set these numbers, why they're setting it, what their thought process is. That is definitely a power ranking. Penn State should be better right now against Oregon than the general public believes, because unlike that Texas situation where you look at recent results and people jump on the Longhorns, nobody's going to look at anything going on Penn State in a neutral site and say, yeah, let's play them against the number one team in the country at a small number. So I will figure that out, and we may play it as a release, we may play it as opinion, or at least very minimum, we're going to play Oregon as a free winner because I'm not playing Penn State. I don't believe in James Franklin. I think I know what he is, but we'll see. FatJackSports.com, your first free winner is Oregon minus the points against Penn State. FatJackSports.com, $49 for football, for basketball, 9 prop bets going this weekend. Basketball won last week. Football has won 5 out of the last 6 weeks. They had a small losing week this last 2 games. That's all we lost last week. We didn't talk about that in the but we lost 2 games more than we won. Nobody's jumping off a bridge. We had won the week before more than 2 games, won the week before that more than 2 games, 2 games the week before that, and week before that. So we've been winning over the better part of a month, over a month. We gave back 2 units this last week. So no big deal. We'll get back on track. Basketball is going to continue to win. Soccer, as we said, 5-1. Prop bets won 6 games going into Monday night. Had another very good week. Those plays are very inexpensive when you add them. If you never played soccer, go add that soccer pack. It's less than about $50 a week. The games are all over before football starts. So some on Friday, all on Saturday and Sunday mornings, but they're done by 11 a.m. So especially if you're going to Vegas, take those. What?
Those games are so early in Vegas.
We don't got to get up. I don't get up and watch them.
Oh, I do.
I'm sure you do. I don't watch them out there. I just wake up and count my money. I look at the thing. It is nice to turn on USA Network or whoever. I may put up a soccer package just for this weekend. Just a weekend soccer package. I think I just decided to do that. So,
okay.
Yeah, just one weekend soccer. That way, guys that are going, because there will be people.
Just a nibble.
Yeah, it's just a little bit to get you involved, a little taste. If you're going out of town, it might be nice. You can get one weekend of soccer plays. What, about $80, $89? I'm not trying to break people on it. I just want them to try it. I say these are things that just get you involved. Yeah, about $89. It's not a super sexy soccer special. It's not a $69 one. It's an $89 one. So probably $89 to get you soccer for the weekend, but you need to sign up for that. There will be multiple plays on Saturday for sure, and some on Sunday. So you get 4 to 8 plays in soccer to get you into profit betting on that sport. And those games, as I said, all done before the football actually starts. Go to FatJackSports.com. It'll fill in that gap of the lack of other games other than these championship games going this week.
Yeah, only 6 college football games on Saturday. So.
Yeah, but we'll have a big NFL card. At least more time for that. Of course, the bowls are coming immediately after that. So still a great time to get signed up. Great time to make some money. Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and it is championship week. Are you ready to make some money betting on the games? For only $49 this weekend, you can get yourself into profit betting on sports. $49 gets you 4 football, 4 basketball, and 9 NFL prop games going this weekend for only $49. Go to FatJackSports.com and consistently build profits starting this weekend for only $49. Get a longer package. It's less than $100 a week. FatJackSports.com to win this weekend.
Welcome back to the Fat Jack Sports Hour. And again, here is our host giving you the weekend for $49. He's the Fat Jack.
Thank you so much, Brandon. Fat Jack Sports Hour segment number 3. You don't get everything. You get a little taste. $49 gets you 4 football games, 4 basketball games, and 9 players props. FatJackSports.com. Get you into some profit and then get you a longer package. If you're gambling each week, though, go ahead and spend about $85 a week on a longer package through the Super Bowl. $7.99 for football, $12.99 football and basketball. Get you that's the middle of February, guys. Everything, all the playoffs, everything. About $80-$90 a week for football, a little more than that for football and basketball. Get signed up and start winning. NFL this weekend, Brandon, we were talking off the air, not a lot of great games. I mean, there's some sneaky good ones, as you like to call them. Monday night Chargers and Kansas City's a little sneaky good. Buffalo at the Rams could get sneaky. Rams playing much better. They were on the road last week. Now they go back home after getting a win at New Orleans. Buffalo, of course, in the snowstorm.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland will be a fun one.
That's the one I was going to land on as far as if you talk about one, and I understand the variance with Jameis Winston and Cleveland and what they are. And that's not what you're getting. Pittsburgh is solid. Pittsburgh's a playoff team. Pittsburgh's totally different and better than they were preseason. But you get in this particular matchup, we talked about these divisional games in the within this division. AFC North underdogs are covering 63.5% of the time since 2018. So on a 52-32 run against the spread in the AFC North, these divisional games. So I like this. We played Cleveland actually in this similar spot a couple weeks ago where they beat Pittsburgh on their home field in the snow also. I don't like it as much, but especially looking at what Pittsburgh did last week. But we still, a week or so ago, we were talking about Jameis Winston. We were talking about Russell Wilson looking like Seattle or like Denver Russell Wilson. So maybe we get a regression there. So, but there are some sneaky ones. Which one jumps out at you?
I'm biased, but Arizona-Seattle is an NFC West. Yeah, you win that game, you definitely take a front row seat in the in the car for that division. And then Chargers Chiefs is going to be intriguing because the Chargers defensively are a lot better than I think a lot of people give them credit for. I, for one, did not think that Harbaugh coming back to the NFL was going to do well, especially with that program, that franchise. But they're an entertaining, solid team, and they could give anybody a fight on any given night. And as we've seen, the Chiefs are more than willing to let anybody fight them because they're going to do just enough to win the game, no more, no less.
Yeah, what's funny about that is that the Chargers, if you want to look at the other side of that, they have one win now against a team with a winning record. This team, if you look back through their wins are against bad football teams, and their win was against Atlanta last Sunday, and I think I'm right on that. But double check me so I make sure I'm not saying
Bengals, Titans, Browns, Saints, Broncos. They beat. So Broncos, I think, are either at 500 or right under it, maybe. Panthers, Raiders. Those are their wins.
So
meanwhile, they've lost to the Steelers, Chiefs, Cardinals, and Ravens.
So my point, obviously, is their other win, their marquee win that we're talking about now, was due to Kirk Cousins losing his mind and throwing pick sixes and 4 turnovers, 2 in the end zone on their home field, and only losing by 4. So how good are the Chargers? I guess that's my point. I mean, they're. I don't think they're that good. That's why I didn't play them because I love Atlanta. And by the way, they ran all over the Chargers in that game, and with the Chiefs getting back their running game and getting their running back, that's going to be a big part of them taking this. You can see the players for the Chiefs are visibly their stars. Not that it matters. Everybody's upset about something, but visibly upset about not being able to dominate anybody right now. And they're looking for that big win. And this might be that. I'm just saying that the Chargers, I think, are overrated, and the Chiefs getting a little bit healthy at the right time. So, so I'm not willing to release it just yet, but just one of those things to look at. So FatJackSports.com, getting ready to get out of here. Go get signed up, $49, or sign up for something longer. You'll get included in that 13-3 Monday Night Football game, so you're going to get a play on this Chargers-Chiefs game, and much more. Or get signed up through the NBA Finals. You'll get baseball for free. March Madness around the corner. All these tournament games coming up in the college football as well. You're going to start building profit consistently. Any final thoughts, Brandon?
I'm done with my holiday shopping.
That did not take long. You were in, you're out, you're done. All right. All I've done is spend a lot of money on a few people. So I'm off to a very unorganized start that is going to require some more guidance and preparation before. I'm not turning on the TV, and I'm certainly not going to download any QR codes.
Yeah, no more QR codes for you.
Yeah. Guys, wager responsibly, shop responsibly. Drive around safely. Don't drink and drive. You guys have a great holiday season. Until next week, we will have bowl games to talk about. We'll have the playoffs set and so much more. Got a great time of year, guys, in football and basketball. So have a great week. I'll talk to you next. Brandon and I will both talk to you next week. This has been the Fat Jack Sports Hour. Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and it is championship week. Are you ready to make some money betting on the games? For only $49 this weekend, you can get yourself into profit betting on sports. $49 gets you 4 football, 4 basketball, and 9 NFL prop games going this weekend for only $49. Go to FatJackSports.com and consistently build profits starting this weekend for only $49. Get a longer package. It's less than $100 a week. FatJackSports.com to win this weekend.